2023 wasn't a good year for the Carolina Panthers, but I'm trying to make 2024 a better one for myself. Get started on your resolutions with Factor so you're ready for the new year. Factor's ready-to-eat meal delivery takes the stress out of meal planning and sets you up for success in the new year. Skip the grocery stores, prep work, and cooking fatigue. Instead, get chef-crafted, dietitian-approved meals delivered right to your door. With over 35 meals to choose from per week, including keto options, calorie smart, vegan plus veggie, and more, plus over 55 weekly add-ons, you'll have a ton of nutritious and flavorful options to kickstart your resolutions. Skip that overpriced takeout trap. Factor is cheaper and way more delicious than takeout. Get chef-crafted, restaurant-quality meals delivered right to your door, and they're ready to heat and eat in just 2 minutes, which means more time for you. Head to factormeals.com/C350 and use the promo code C350 to get 50% off. That's code C350 at factormeals.com/C350 to get 50% off.
Looking for a fun way to win up to 25 times your money this basketball season? Test your skills on Prize Picks, the most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports. Just select 2 or more players, pick more or less on their projected stats, and place your entry. You could turn $10 into $250. Right now, Prize Picks will match your first deposit up to $100. Just visit prizepicks.com/fan and use code FAN. That's code FAN at prizepicks.com/fan.
Must be present in certain states. Visit prizepicks.com for restrictions and details.
In a world where Carolina Panthers fans have an insatiable thirst for Panthers news and opinions, only one podcast roars ferociously. It's the C3 Panthers Podcast.
And welcome everybody to another edition of the C3 Carolina Panthers podcast. As you may be able to tell, I am not the professor, Tony Dunn. He is running a little bit late, but thanks to his tried and true producer, yours truly, we're able to kick this bitch into high gear and jump right into it and talk about some Panther football. Listen, I am joined by my friend, my man coming back from vacation, the man, the myth, the legend, the streaming extraordinaire, Cody Allen. What's up with you, bro?
Oh, just trying to get back to some sense of normalcy in the world now that I'm having to work and everything. But hey, listen, it's nice to be back. I will say that much. It sucks to have to leave vacation and go back to work, but I'll tell you what, it's nice to be back.
Good deal, good deal. And the man, the myth, the legend himself. I just told everybody, listen, I'm the man you can depend on when the professor's running a little bit late. But it's okay. Talk to the people, Tony Dunn. You're here now.
Man, I was just loading my kids up with cheap food, and that's what I was doing right then. Anyway, my clock on the TV said 8:58. So I thought I had a whole 30 seconds to slide up in the DMs of the C3 Panthers podcast. Welcome to the show. My name's Tony Dunn. Have you introduced everything? I hope you have.
Well, I have. I've introduced everyone. I've introduced you. I've introduced CK. But Tony, the only people that I have yet to introduce are the people who make this show run. Baby, the best Panther fans in all of YouTube. I'm talking about Trill One, Michael Jones, Shane Welch, AJ Lindsay, QT0, Joey the Blind Panther Esquivel, Tim Estes, Tim Tizzy, and the one and only co-founder of the C3 podcast, Joe Riolano himself. Tony Dunn, ain't nothing to it but to do it, brother. Let's roll.
Do not forget tonight's show is powered by Avolta. You can cut your cord with the energy company and become energy independent. You can take advantage of tax credits, both federal and state, right? I mean, look, you could get money back for saving money, becoming energy independent, excuse me. And what do? You get a fixed rate on your you get a fixed rate for life. You add to your mortgage. Ultimately, you can make money by checking out Avulta. If you own a home in North or South Carolina and you want to cut the cord with your energy company and get that fixed rate for life. You know how you get with so with my water company, we can just average it for the year. Right? Like we could say this is what we pay for the whole year. So this month we pay a little bit more. Next month we pay a little bit less. They give you a fixed rate. How about when you know your finances and you know exactly what you're going to pay for your energy, exactly what you're going to pay for your TV, whatever it is, you can do that with the Volta. Check out Kevin Brown, Solar Consultant, 704-215-3373. He's a fan of the Carolina Panthers and a fan of the C3 Panthers podcast. You got to say, hey, homie, I heard about this on the C3 Panthers podcast, and he will hook you up. Look, what's tonight's show? Tell me the name of tonight's show, please, because I've been dying to figure out what we're going to talk about.
No, I'm going to let you.
I saw the text, and I wanted to see, did you go through it?
I'm going to let you read the name of the show in real time, and you tell me what you think.
Oh, God, I got to look it up.
Because there's already been people who have taken a liking to my...
Hold on, I got to pull it up on the YouTube channel just to make sure. Carolina Vaccination Chronicles and Carl Nassib dominates on D. Jeez, you did not hold back, did you? I said Cody.
Hey, you told me
I don't know what the name of the show is going to be, and you just took it to the next level.
No, to be fair, I did ask you, and you didn't respond back. So I
didn't see the back end of it clearly. Neither did.
Dude, that's hilarious, man. Come on, dude.
All right. So tell me, why did you name the show about Carolina Cat Chronicles vaccination? Let's talk about vaccination and the Carolina Panthers.
Yeah. So one of the reasons why I wanted to bring this up, and even shout out to the guys at P&P. I was watching them yesterday, and this conversation keeps coming up about players choosing to either get vaccinated or to not get vaccinated. And now I'm not here to tell you that either one is what you should or should be doing. What I'm here to tell you is that I get so pissed off when I continuously see people trying to come down on players making decisions for themselves that have absolutely nothing to do with anyone else, even though you think that it might. And the reason why I thought that this was a good conversation piece is because this is happening with players on our team. Christian McCaffrey was asked about it, and he chose not to give his answer on whether or not he was vaccinated. We all know that Sam Darnold has been asked about this, and he's choosing not to say anything either. My thing is this. If somebody wants to make that decision for themselves, that's just what it is, right? It's their decision.
Right.
What I'm so sick of are the people that are going on Twitter and on social media and like literally coming at these people like they're these anti-science people, or that they don't care about people around them, or that they're just they're irresponsible in their community. And I think that's so completely dumb, because it's rooted in a bunch of one, misinformation, two, false pretexts, and two, it's you're trying to enforce your own opinions and your own beliefs onto other people. That's not how you advocate for anything in the world. Like, if I'm going to tell you that you're stupid and everything that you believe is dumb, how is that going to get you to change your mind on something
for the better of everyone?
Right? 100%. It's going to make you dig your trenches even more. And I just I don't know how big of a topic of discussion this is, but it's been something that has been on my mind if you've been following me on Twitter, just because I think it's so hypocritical, man. Who people decide to go for and who people decide to just, adorn as the woke hero of the moment. But I remember even before all this stuff happened with Greg Olson and his son, Greg had posted a comment about wanting to wanting children to go back to school.
I remember this.
And not having to learn via virtual meetings and everything. And the same people were jumping down his throat and wanting to rip him a new asshole. This same woke mob, woke culture.
I love some of the comments you would see. You used to be one of my favorite Carolina Panthers. Now I'm going to unfollow.
Yeah, right. It's like, dude, what the fuck are you even talking about, man? Like, these are grown damn men who can make their own decisions. And they're not bad people if they decide that they don't want to get vaccinated. And again, I'm not trying to make this a political podcast. In my mind, this is not a Republican or a Democrat thing. This is just a mind your own damn business thing. In my opinion, you don't have to share my opinion. I'm here for the discussion about it. But I find a lot of hypocrisy.
I think it's a very, very common statement to even to the next topic that we're going to talk about, and the Carl Nassib thing, right? Like, people want to care so much about everybody else's lives, right? And now I think we've come to a point where if you're gay, who gives a shit? That's who you love. That's who you want to be touching your pee-pee. All right, that's no problem. Right? I have no problem with it. I have no issue whatsoever. It doesn't gross me out to see gay guys kissing. None of that bothers me. But same thing with the vaccinations. That's how we should be taking the approach here as well. Like, listen, if somebody has a different opinion than you, fantastic.
Yeah.
Just move on with your life. Don't let other people impact you that heavily that you have an emotional reaction to it. Like, it is. And obviously that may sound a bit hypocritical because we're having an emotional reaction to other people's emotional reactions.
Yeah.
But it's just a cycle that ends you nowhere but unhappy. You're never going to be happy because there are going to be so many people who differ from your opinion. You're just going to be mad about the fact that those people differ from your opinions. You're always going to be that way. And you're just going to be unhappy for the rest of your life if you live life that way.
True. And I want to hear Tony's. I want to say one more thing before we jump to Tony. The only reason I brought it up was because I see Panther fans going after Panther legends, people talking shit about Christian McCaffrey, Sam Darnold, any player who dares to oppose the official overlords at the CDC and have any kind of mind of their own. It makes them public enemy number one. And I think part of it is just anti-Trumpness. But anyway, Tony, please shut me up.
My boy Jay Cryer from across the pond, now in Ibiza, he sent me this. He sent me a screenshot of this. I'm sharing it right now. It's just look. Obviously, he's in it says Google UK at the end, so he's just catching a news rift or something. And it's got Brooks Koepka and Brian what's his name? Bryson DeChambeau. These guys hate each other. So this is all meant to tease at our senses of information, right? If you're a sports viewer, you're looking at this feud that's on the verge of WWE. And this is the blurb that he sees on his phone. He took a screenshot and sent it to me. And it says, if you were someone who hated Cam Newton's antics because he should have put the team first, it makes sense to also hate Sam Darnold and Christian McCaffrey's decisions for the same reason. If someone makes the choice to not get the vaccine, it can negatively impact that person and countless others around them, many of whom could die, as evidenced by the 600,000. So Christian McCaffrey and Sam Darnold killed 600,000 people. It's absolutely is a personal choice to refuse the vaccine. It's just a wrong choice for players who should be focused on the benefit of the whole team. So this headline, look,
such asinine.
It's just it's teasing. Dude. It's just teasing at this. Is that like you got to put your team before America, all this. Here, I don't have when you said, what did you call it? You said bow down to the CDC. What were your words? Like, I liked it. Tell me that. What did you say?
Bow down. Yeah. People who refuse to bow down to the CDC overlords. The people who for over 12 months have been telling you that this fucking pandemic started because Chinese people eat bats. Sure they do. They're Chinese. Why wouldn't they, right? Meanwhile,
that is the most.
That was the original.
You just said the racist thing.
No, Tony, that's what they said, and
no,
that's
but
what it perpetuated.
Of course, Chinese
it was
people
created right because they perpetuated on these like stereotypes that we have.
Oh, by the way, Jay Cryer said that this is crazy. That's what
but listen, what I'm saying is that like we have all these. Like the CDC pushed forth this one thing, and then now we're finding out from CDC officials that wasn't true. So everything that we have been told was a conspiracy theory for months on end now isn't. And then when people say that, they don't necessarily trust all that information that they're getting, they're public enemy number one. Look, I'm not telling you not to get vaccinated. I'm saying it's your body, it's your choice, and you should be able to make that choice for your own self without a bunch of people virtue signaling on the internet, pretending that they're fucking holier than thou. They're not.
Well, you're right. The internet is the virtue signaling place of the world. But all right. So one is that you raise a point with this is like, should these athletes have a choice? Not should they have a choice. What is their choice?
What's the impact to their career as a football player?
Right. But look, these guys are in the peak of their health. Right? Like they are training, they are watching when they put in. If we hold them to these crazy standards, which we do, right? So we're like, oh my God, I saw Cam Newton eating cheese fries on the Tuesday. We'd be like, what? Look, we are upset that Cam Newton is a vegan. We're upset that this motherfucker cares what goes into his body. And I know he's not a Carolina Panther anymore. But my point is this, is that we're so worried about what these guys are putting in their bodies, this and that. They're at their peak health. They probably never get sick. They have like 8% body fat. And they never get sick. If there is any person who doesn't need the vaccine, it is the healthiest person on the planet. Right?
Yeah.
Right? But like now the question becomes, is it like, so individually, I understand why they're kind of the most cautious. Who is the person that gets the vaccine first? That's what I would say. Like, you know, we were all worried about the shit, like as it was rolling out. Like if there's questions about anything, it's about like, have we had enough testing, this and that. But who did they give the vaccine to first? People with health conditions.
Right.
Who is the opposite of that?
NFL football players.
Yes, exactly. And so I can understand why they could, I would say, be susceptible, because that's not the right word, because susceptible means you're kind of being baited into something. But why they would be in a group who is not the most anxious to get this.
Yeah.
Like imagine if if I have a headache, I'm going to be the first person to take an aspirin. Right. But if you didn't have a headache, you wouldn't take the aspirin. Right? And they don't have a headache. But the NFL rules, though, have encouraged getting the vaccine for a sake of the money.
Oh, but it's not just encourage. If you're not vaccinated, you're not allowed to go to dinner with the team. You're not allowed. You have to do all the social distancing stuff, and they don't. You have to be masked up. You have to do all these, like you have to pretend like basically COVID is still running rampant in your world and in no one else's world. So, that's why Cole Beasley was in the news, because he was the one that was making the most headlines saying like, dude, this is bullshit. And it's like, I understand where he's coming from. Again, I'm not trying to make a point on pro or anti-vaccines. That's not what I'm here to do. All I'm saying is that like we have Panther legends like Greg Olsen and Christian McCaffrey, people that have like built up a level of respect amongst Panther fans, and yet this same kind of like woke crossover fans from all different areas, both Panther fans and just NFL fans alike, they just take the opportunity to want to show people how great and virtuous they are by shaming them. And like that article
on the other hand,
sent you, that was the perfect example of what I'm talking about. That article that
it was here on the other side of it though. I got vaccinations to go to kindergarten, right? Like, I mean, I've put worse things in my body than this dead virus, ultimately, that are being put in. Like, if you wanted to go to, say you want to just travel to France, and they said you have to get a hepatitis shot or a tetanus shot before you go over there, would you be like, oh my God, I mean, I don't know if my body can withstand this. If anybody can handle, like, I would just say, I've been to the point of just like, shoot me up, let's do it. Like, just give it to me, let's go, let's roll. Roll. The world's getting back to normal. If that makes you feel better, if wearing a mask made you feel better, then what? Well, come on, let's do it.
Well, but also, if you're vaccinated, why are you worried about people that aren't vaccinated? You know what I'm saying? Like, if you got vaccinated and you got it twice, why do you care if everyone else? You know what I'm saying? It's like, do your part. If you feel like you need to get vaccinated, then that's what you should do. But what I'm saying is,
do you think the NFL should not be able to put these rules in? That's the real question. How about that? Is like, you want to talk, like, we want to talk about whether choice or this or that. Should the NFL be able to say that there are these protocols because you're vaccinated or not vaccinated? Do you not like that?
I mean, it's not necessarily that I like it or dislike it. Like, in the end, that's going to be what it is. The NFL is going to make those rules if they want to. Like, my thing is this. It's just the people that want to pretend like they are doing some great disservice to their peers, to their teammates. Like, they just have no moral compass. Like, these are the people that read QAnon posts and listen to Alex Jones and shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, no, like it's all stereotypes that people are playing.
If you were Christian McCaffrey, just say you were in the position Christian McCaffrey was, Sam Darnold, would you get the vaccine?
I don't know. I mean, it's easy to say yes or no, but if he doesn't want to take one,
I got the vaccine.
Yeah, but have you ever?
Okay, do you have it?
I got it.
Oh, is that too personal?
I got it.
Would you? Are you gonna get it, Cody? Or do you have it?
No, I'm not getting it for two different reasons. One, I'm one of the people that needs it.
Should, yeah. All right, so this is where I hope this was going. So
this is where this is where rubber meets the road, boys. Look, I'm the type of person that if I get it cold, almost everything goes straight to my lungs. Like, even a common cold or the common flu can really fuck
straight
up,
to the chest.
Straight up.
Yes.
But in my life, I've had a number of different flu shots over the years, but I have had two of the worst bouts of flu in my life directly after I took a flu shot. One of them even put me in the hospital for a few days.
Yeah.
This was a number of years ago now. But like, for me to have that experience and then to say, well, I'm still kind of hesitant about certain vaccinations, And then like people just want to lump you into this category of,
Yeah.
oh, dude, you're this anti-science, anti-vaxxer, all kind of horseshit. Like, no, dude, I have my own personal experiences. I have my own body, and I'll make my own decision that's good for me. And if I end up fucking around and end up getting sick, well, then that's on me, man. I'm also not going in there fucking letting people cough in my mouth and shit. It's like I'm not being unsafe. But yeah, right. I'm
Do you remember? Have you ever heard of Rosie the Riveter?
Yes.
Yeah.
She's actually, I think,
is that the woman that
it was Marilyn Monroe
Mm-hmm.
who was the person that it was modeled after. Maybe I'm wrong on that, but it's World War II, and she's the girl working on the airplanes, and she's got this and but it is all propaganda, right? It's like Rosie the Riveter. Here we come. You know what I'm saying? It's like saying this. It's like trying.
Right.
Are we doing this because we really believe it, or because we're buying into the not the propaganda of whether it's right or wrong, but the pressure? And that is the pressure to be right with society, to be right. Like, so if we go around this panel, and I didn't even realize it when I asked it, but I said, I'm vaccinated, you're vaccinated. Like, all of a sudden that becomes a personal question, right? And now it's not whether or not vaccination or COVID or this or that. It's almost a pure pressure to be on one note. It's like, as Rosie the Riveter said, get your vaccination. And like, if you don't like Rosie, then and I don't know what their true answer is. I got my vaccination. I got it for peace of mind. That's what I got. Is like, I'm like, man, I get all. I drink beer. I smoke cigarettes. Like all this stuff. Like, I mean, like, hey, this ain't gonna. Those didn't kill me. This won't either. But why you would get it for yourself? And I don't know. And it's such a tough question. But I bet when it comes to these professional athletes, the fact that they never get sick, right? That they never get, like, how about this? God, everybody's gonna be like, I hate this podcast because all Tony does is talk about Cam Newton. But look,
and political shit.
But Cam Newton, and actually, I think since he went to New England, is like he's talked about this, like in his stuff. But the Superman symbol, he felt invincible as an individual for a while. There were 3 or 4 years, like, where he walked onto that field and he felt like nothing could, you know what I'm saying? Like, he truly felt like Superman. So think of every football player sort of feeling like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They truly do. Like, I mean, they don't walk in the gym and be like, oh, I'm the guy that can't do anything. Like, they walk into the gym knowing they're the dogs, homie. So I could see how they could just be a little reluctant. So, like, I don't need an aspirin, homie. Like, you lifted those weights and you need some icy hot, but I don't.
Yeah.
And I can see that with the vaccination, but I truly believe with the protocols that they're putting in is that, like, it as it just said this, if you're vaccinated, we can get to work. I would be, if I was a head coach right now, I would be on all of these guys' asses saying this is a personal decision, but guess what? Some decisions help all of us move to a further position in life. And your ass being vaccinated means we can practice better.
Yeah, but that's the pressure though, because then you're the pariah.
Yeah.
Right.
But now, but
that's not a social pressure.
It is a social pressure.
It's not social pressure. It's a pragmatic pressure. Like, it's not a social pressure. Like, oh, we're shaming you on the internet. It's like this is that we could lift 5 bags, and we have to move these bags over here.
It's like this.
Like, it's a pragmatic pressure.
It's like what Rock Rhyme said. This work paid him $100 to get vaxxed. And I get the mindset.
My job didn't.
But it's all of those things.
My job paid me to get vaccinated and gave me PTO.
Hell yeah.
Well, it's like my thing is that now all the pressure is on them from every different angle, man.
Yeah.
So it's like you're not allowed. But this is my point. You're not allowed
Should
to have
the
an opinion.
NFL be allowed to do this? Back to that question.
No, Tony, you answer that for me. Do you think the NFL should be allowed to do it? Because you're saying, like, well, for the sake of pragmatism, for getting back to football and practicing and being on the same page, yeah, if I'm the coach, you all better have your asses vaccinated. But my point is this, like, now they essentially have no choice. As I pointed out, and that article pointed out, now all the social media pressures are on you from the woke mob, but now you have your employer and all the other people who are basically saying, well, if you don't do it, then you're being a bad teammate and you're being irresponsible on top of all this other shit. So whatever opinion you do or don't have about it is null and void. You better fucking get vaccinated or your life is about to be a whole lot harder.
I'm answering this question. Yes, I think the NFL should be able to do this. But whether they should do it or not, I don't know. What I mean by that is that if we believe that they're just a business that gets to run their organization as they will, then they should be able to do this. They should also not be able to do this. And I mean, we're not legislating that they do this. The NFL has decided that this is the protocol.
Right.
So if we don't like what they're doing in this social woke mob or whatever, you know who is the person implementing this? The NFL is.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
So they're a private.
So
I truly believe that, yes, they can do this. Like, we have to just admit or accept that businesses can do certain things if they want to. And if we don't like that, then we have to say that we're going to regulate businesses. This is not a governmental regulation on this. It's not. And I work at an institution that has stricter rules than the actual government that they are paid by. But you know what? They decided to do that. Like, that institution, it's a decision they made. So if we don't like this, who tells the NFL to not do it?
Well, see, no one.
I guess. And I'm old, man. Like, who is doing this? It's the NFL.
But
it's the NFL that's doing that. And if you don't like the signal, virtue signaling that they're, the NFL's been doing this the whole time.
Yeah.
It's all about the shield. It's all about the optics. It's all about this. And you know what? If you're a guy that's trying to sign a contract, if you're an agent that's trying to sign a deal, I'm telling my dude to get vaccinated. If I'm an agent of a dude, I'm like this is, bro, get this shot. It didn't do anything. Like, that's what I would be saying. Let's make some money. That's what I would be. Like, this is what the NFL laid out. How about being the guy on a team that didn't get vaccinated? Who's going to be that guy?
Apparently, a lot of people.
Yeah, there's a lot of
really,
guys dude. Yeah,
are they really going to to the end? Do you truly believe they're going to roll that way? They're going to go mask on at the meetings. They're going to social distance. Come on.
Let me ask you this question, Tony. Okay, so Christian McCaffrey pretty much wouldn't answer, right? A lot of players are choosing to kind of not say yes.
That was like 3 weeks ago, and that was before.
If somebody
was like the week the news came out.
If somebody's not answering the question, if they're choosing to not answer, what do you think they did? They got the vaccine or they didn't get the vaccine? If they're choosing to not answer the question,
but camp
they probably just don't want to say that they didn't get the vaccine because they don't want that headline attached to their name.
Right.
So I mean, by that measure.
No. All right. So let me kind of.
I don't think McCaffrey.
I gotta correct some of the timeline on this. Is that the news about McCaffrey and Darnold talking about the vaccine came out the day before the NFL released their protocols, and then they asked Christian McCaffrey again. And he said, I don't know what I'm going to do yet. That's all these guys are saying. That's all they're saying.
Right, but it's not that positive, yes. And it's,
But there's still 30 days. We can go. He can go get the shot now.
Craig Carter said the news tonight said that that it's causing something in the kids that took the Johnson & Johnson. And then 704 Bounds says if Johnson & Johnson can't get baby powder right, how can they get this right? And dude, whatever you want to say about that,
bro, all this, all right,
have that same exact mindset.
My mom. All right, so if you take your kid to my mom's house, she will watch the kid, right? Like, so if we said, "Hey, I'm gonna take my kid over here, drop him off," but if they got diapers on, when this kid comes back, they are covered.
Oh no!
Bro. Like when she changes a diaper, bro, she's like, if I ain't dead yet, I don't even believe.
Yeah, but you're not everybody though, man. You're not everybody.
I got even bad lungs. My dad has asthma. My kid has asthma. Nah, I'm susceptible. Come on. All right. So
we're not going to get to an answer to this question, because there is no answer.
I think the real question is, should the NFL be able to mandate it? And I say yes, they should, because they're an institution that should be able to make these rules. And unless we believe the government can tell them not to do that, they should be able to. If you don't like the rules, there are 32 owners that decide these rules, and they always stack them in their favor.
Tony, a woman can decide whether or not she can get an abortion, but a man can't decide whether or not he wants to get a vaccine. What sense does that make?
Not even a good comparison, because the state allows one law and private business allows another law.
The whole argument is
they could just not play in the NFL. If you don't want to, ultimately, I would say this is: what if the NFL said that you
their body, their choice? That's the whole point. Their body, their choice.
That's a state law. It's not even a good comparison, man.
No, I'm not even talking about I'm talking about the premise itself. Is that if it's your own body, it's your own choice on what to do with your own body, right? So how does that not extend to every other thing, whether it be vaccinations or abortion or whatever the fuck it is? I don't think the NFL should be able to impose it for that very reason. They can do the restrictions and say, you know what? If you don't get vaccinated, then you're not allowed to do blah, 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 and blah.
Right.
Fine. That's 100% within their realm of ability to do so. But
I disagree with that. I disagree with this 100.
I don't. I think whereas I did get the vaccine, right? I think it is well within companies' rights to tell, like, you need to, if you're going to not, you have to wear a mask. You have to be separated from everybody else. You can make it harder on people's lives. That's fine, right? That's their right. That's their right as employers. But as an employer to say you can't work here, this isn't the case with the NFL, right? They're not saying you can't work in the NFL if you don't have the vaccine. They're making it more difficult, but they're not saying that bottom line you can't. I don't think
you can choose to work in a different industry though. So that's where the comparison to my body, my choice, this or that is it's like a straw man argument ultimately.
No, because can't play football. Everyone else is going to make you do the same thing too. You can't say, oh well,
play in a different league. That's what I would say.
Hey, let me bring this into consideration. You remember when, for instance, Catholic churches weren't allowing birth control to be in their healthcare plans?
Yeah,
that was against.
I'm Catholic. I understand.
Yeah, and they've ruled that that's against the law. You can't do that. So even though it's your belief,
it's still a sin with the Catholic Church.
Exactly. But they can't tell somebody that they can't force that to be something they can't take. Like it may be a sin, but that's an infringement on their individual rights. Same thing here.
But see the difference though is that this is your employer.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Is that the Catholic Church is all right? In that case, the Catholic Church is your employer, and they can't tell you that their religion interferes with their health care. But in this case, the NFL is not making a religious grounds.
Right.
They're just saying this is that it would be the equivalent of, how about this? Can a business tell you have to wear shoes when you walk in?
You're exact.
No, look, is that if I go into a restaurant, is there a no?
That's
Can a business tell you have to wear shoes to enter my restaurant?
Putting shoes on your feet is not the same thing as injecting something into your body. That's entirely.
Well, what would you do? How about this? What if my restaurant had a shoes only policy? So you walk up into, like, you have to wear shoes to walk in my restaurant, which is like most restaurants in the whole world. If you walk in there with no shoes and I tell you, you can't come up in here, do you think that business should not be able to do that?
No,
and they say, no, I got a foot condition.
That's not an impact.
I have the most healthy feet in the world.
Listen, somebody wearing
the healthiest, beautiful feet in the world.
Somebody wearing shoes for 15 minutes that has no indication whatsoever that has long-term health impacts. There is no evidence that shoes do that. There is no evidence that the vaccine doesn't, because we haven't had it long enough, right? That's a completely different scenario. Like, you can put shoes on.
What's more
right? You can put shoes on for 10 minutes and be all right and take them off and no problem. You get the vaccine, you've got the vaccine, no questions.
It's not about the practicality of the matter. It's about, should the business be able to allow them to say that?
Absolutely.
Should the business be able to say you have to have shirts and shoes to enter my building?
Because
if the answer is yes, because it's their business, then the NFL ultimately should be able to make these protocols.
All right, here's another question then. If we want to use that same argument, let's say you go to the hospital, they tell you can't leave the hospital unless you get addicted to cocaine, right?
Let's count me in this hospital, bro. What hospital is this?
Right. What I mean by that is you're putting yourself in a position to be held. Like, that's such a long-term thing. The vaccine is something that we don't know how it's going to, it bypassed so many things. We can have this argument about whether it's good or not, but what we're having the argument on is whether or not people can say that they can't or can't do it, right? You can't tell somebody that they can do something that could impact their health long-term without any justification as to why. You know what I mean?
Let's wrap this conversation up with this.
Yeah.
And then we'll move to a different subject, but we got to segue it somehow.
Yeah.
If Christian McCaffrey and Sam Darnold refuse to get the vaccine, not refuse, that seems mean. Like, if they choose not to get, like, not refuse, but choose.
Either or.
Right. And then they have to wear the mask, and they can't have these parties, and then we catch them on social media or whatever. Are we going to be upset with them?
No.
Like, what do you want them to do?
And dude, who's gonna give a fuck whenever you see McCaffrey?
I'll be like this. We're 6-10. Look, and all the people will be like, I told you that we didn't have a good offensive line. And guess what I'll be saying? I'll be like, God damn it, Christian McCaffrey won't in the film room enough with the rest of the team.
If after a win you see Christian McCaffrey and Sam Darnold like at a bar or at some other place with the rest of the guys, and you know that they're not vaccinated, no one is going to give a single shit.
I'm going to be pissed
No one. And then I'll tell you to calm down. All right,
you're not going to be mad when we lose a draft pick. They lost. The Raiders lost a draft pick. They lost a draft pick because John Gruden didn't wear his mask right.
Whatever, man. Dude,
right.
I don't care about it. I just want everybody to stop shaming people for their own decisions.
Okay.
That's all I'm trying to say. And, I made it as a joke but I did put it in the show.
It only turned out to be a 40-minute conversation.
No, but okay. Now the second part of that, though, I do find
there's a second part. Oh, God.
Yeah, and I know it's not Panthers related, but look, it's the fucking dead of the off season. I don't know what everyone expects, okay? But I did also want to mention that Carl Nassib has the highest selling jersey in the NFL right now. So, dude, maybe the answer for more people who are, 5th and 6th round players, go gay for the pay, man. maybe your jersey sale jumps up, man.
That is rude. So is he a rookie player?
No, he's been in the NFL like for 3 or 4 years now.
Okay. All right. So it's not like he's a draft player, like a draft pick trying to boost his stock. No. Is he the first NFL players come out?
No, I think there was another one that came out. This is the first one that is active on a roster.
Is active.
Yeah.
What did you think? All right, so CK, you watch a lot of like in the creator business and this and that.
Right.
One of the things that I have a friend work out of this gym, and he is like amazing on his creator content. Like it's just like they just and my kids think different ways about how to express themselves through video, through all of this.
Yeah.
So this news comes out in this short clip. It felt confident to me. It felt secure. What did you think about I don't know. I'm like kind of trying to think of it as like a big splash, even though it's not. It shouldn't be a big deal.
No.
Right. This should not be a giant story, but in the fact that there's not been an active player that's done this, and he's really, what did you think about it? That's it. I'm asking CK from the creator content. Like
I have so many.
Did he take advantage? And not take advantage. That's not.
Did he do what basically everybody that goes on to America's Got Talent does?
All right. Well, what did you think? Did he take control of the narrative? Is this a like what did you think about the way that this news was broken?
I mean, the reality of it is, if he's been dealing with this for 5 years of being in the NFL and he's been hiding it, right? And now he's coming out about it. I think that there's something to celebrate there. And so whether he did it publicly like he did or anything like that, I think that's part that is, I'm not going to, damn him for the fact that he's coming out. But I will say that when you see a video like that, you almost have to wonder about the sincerity of it, right?
Really?
With him, where like it'd be different if he just came out and said the, statement.
He dropped 100 G's.
But
he dropped 100 G's to LBGT.
The Trevor Project, and then the NFL matched it.
But what I'm saying, and this is the part that is where, if this is all about exposure for the Trevor Project, it's a different scenario, right? Then that's great. But like the problem is like anytime somebody just comes out and makes a video and says, "Hey, I just donated money to a charity," like it almost feels like, okay, but couldn't you just not have told anybody about it and you have been more of a saint in that regard? Like that part I would say, like as far as whether or not, making it a public statement on social media about him being, a homosexual is that's not nearly as big of an argument to me. But the argument of whether or not he should have said, basically made it such a public thing, like I'm gay and I also donated $100,000 or something. So, praise me, guys. That's what it almost feels like. I don't think that's what his intentions were, but that's what, I think the argument would be.
So I heard he sets a real hard edge. I'm sorry, I can't. I'm a 5-year-old kid at heart, dude. And Trill One has a great comment too. He should try to get a trade to San Fran or Atlanta.
I don't like this. Is that like I'm ready. Like, all right, well, you know what? He better go beat. I didn't mean to go that way. But what I'm saying is this: is I don't even like. Good for him. I don't know. It's like, how would he ultimately do it the right way? How do you do it the right way?
I mean, honestly,
what is the right way? You know what I'm saying? Is it a Time magazine? Is it a nothing? Is it that? Like, no matter what, is that if he wasn't, if he didn't come out and make this donation, do this, and then he came out like 20 years later, it'll be like, oh, well, why didn't you speak up for this
people
or that?
back? Yeah, like
Right.
I mean,
like,
and I agree with
there's
that.
no way to make it right.
But here's my question,
and not that right. Like, I'm not trying to make a jump. What I'm saying is, like, if I do anything, if I start this open the show, is that obviously one person's not gonna like. You know, there's gonna be a million ways it could have gone a different way.
let me ask you a question. What is this contract situation?
Oh,
I don't know. I don't have that on the.
Because like if he's been in the league 4 or 5 years,
why do you ask?
Like, my thought is, you know how much of whatever we see on social media is just a PR company or an agent telling people to do things, right? How long has Carl Nassib been sitting on this announcement? Is it because we're coming up on the contract and now all of a sudden it's like, if we get rid of him, like we're looking like we're just bigots, right? As somebody said in chat, it guaranteed him a roster spot. Right.
Well, I mean, you could do that at any point. And you're right. It's like it would probably be wiser to do it on the back end of your contract than on the, you know what I'm saying? Like, like it would be like if you were trying to leverage your real decision. But this is a monumental moment. It really is. Is that
he signed a 3-year, $25 million contract with the Raiders
prior to this?
When? Yeah.
What year is
in 2021?
Oh, boom!
No, 2020.
So yeah,
he's not like. I mean, he's actually he is. If it's a 3-year contract, he's totally in his contract year. Actually, he totally is in his contract year because the last year on a 3-year contract is always the cut year. And if you were using that to leverage your money, then it would be very disappointing.
Yeah.
To me, though, I don't believe that. I mean, like, it's a big deal in the NFL world. Look at the jokes that are flying like crazy. Like, you guys can't help it, this and that. Imagine he's the first dude that's done this in an active player. And as an active player, that's a big leap. How old is he? How about that? Tell me how old he is.
Carl Nassib. Hold on.
I mean, if he was 38, like, and he's like on a 3-year
he's 28 years old.
How many? Here's I think a more relevant question. How many people in the NFL have were gay and just never came out? Like, how many people do you think existed? Like,
5%. I would say it'd be like 5. Like, there's actual like a real percentage. You know what I mean? Like a percentage. Like, I mean, if you want to play poker,
we're statistically speaking, yeah. I mean, you're looking at a scenario where like this is you got to imagine, especially in the past, 10 years ago, even like coming out with something like this it was like almost career suicide.
Yeah,
it was just a way to make sure you were.
I mean, like, it's not unquestionable. It's not now.
Yeah,
that's the whole point. Like, this is a big ground. Like, it's a very important
far
thing.
More accepted now than it would have been even 10 years ago. And so I think that's why it's great to see it now. Regardless of what your beliefs are or anything like that, seeing something like this, what it tells you is like, listen, we're in a world that is more accepting, regardless of your circumstances, and that's something that you should be happy about. There's still.
How about this? Is that this podcast argued for 40 minutes about whether or not you should be able to play in the NFL if you had the godforsaken vaccination. How about this? That my opinion is this: if you think you should have a choice to get the fucking coronavirus vaccination, then you shouldn't have a choice about your sexuality.
Yeah.
Truth.
You know, like, I mean, like here, and that is my point for the night. That is my point for the fucking night is this, is that if you truly believe that you are in control of your body and whether or not you can play in the NFL, this or that, then you can't exclude not like sexual preference. Man, right? Like it's silly. Like if we're really truly worried about if you get a shot, then you should be able to live your life the other way. So that's my opinion.
Right.
All right. Is there any other news? Because I probably do. There might be one cat call.
Yes, we actually do. Believe it or not, have a little bit of Panthers related news.
Oh no, it's not even true. How could there be news right now?
It is true. The Indianapolis Colts are going to be training camp participants with the Carolina Panthers. So the Panthers and the Colts are going to be scrimmaging against one another this May camp.
That'll be interesting because we're in similar situations to a degree. I think they have a much more established team, but they're dealing with a quarterback that was essentially, thrown to the curb and Carson Wentz, and we're dealing with Sam Darnold. So we have 2 first-year quarterbacks in the new system, and I think that'll be an interesting dynamic. I don't hate that.
Yeah, I mean, similar teams, in my opinion. I mean, the Colts have a better offensive line.
How are we similar teams?
Both of our quarterbacks were fucking terrible last year.
Okay. All right, one.
Yeah. Both
1 point. Their
defense
defense was really good last year. They made it to the playoffs.
Well, I would say they probably don't have a lot of safety and corner help on their football team. I think they're probably vulnerable to a aggressive passing attack, which I'm interested to see what Sam and our receivers are able to do against the Colts. I'm also interested in hearing about J.C. Horn and Dante Jackson on the likes of T.Y. Hilton and against their offense. And
why won't this stop?
It's good to just have have different bodies to go up against, so that way your players aren't having to always practice against their own teammates.
Yeah, definitely. I'm trying to find where this. All right, I'm starting to get the audio back to snuff. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. All right, so we're gonna play the Colts in preseason action. The last time, I'm trying to think of some last teams that we used to play in pre. All right, so the team that I remember playing in preseason training camp or whatever in these practices was the Dolphins one year. I think it was the Dolphins, and that was when Kelvin Benjamin tore his ACL right off the bat. It then set this trajectory of Devin Funchess, us thinking he was going to be good. Turns out he likes salad. And then the Kelvin Benjamin was worse than Devin Funchess. That's the funny part about this is that we want, like, if you want to hate Devin Funchess, that's one thing, which I'm on that train. But guess what's worse? The return of Kelvin Benjamin was even worse. And isn't he playing? I think the New York Giants.
I don't know if he's going to make the team, but old Dave Gettleman signed his former first-round receiver as a tight end. So glad to see the weight loss program has paid off for Kelvin in the meantime, and he's accepted his fate as a tight end. But I don't know. I'm just And by the way, they make some good points in the chats. Where is Devin Funchess? Like, remember Devin Funchess went to the Colts? Like,
Green Bay.
He opted out for COVID. He went to Green
Bay.
Colts initially for a 1-year deal.
And he got hurt.
Signed with Green Bay. Yeah, exactly. And then when the COVID stuff popped, he's missing. So, like, if you guys need to find out where Devin Funchess is, but he's not on a team right now.
Hey, man, shout out to CK's buddy, I believe.
He's one of my Australian fellows.
Hey, man, shout out for the 10. What is that? $10? Yeah, that's $10, I guess. Love bomb.
In Australian dollars.
Ooh.
Nice.
Those are fancy. Down $100. I like that. Thank you, man.
Thank you very much for your support. You're listening to the C3 Panthers podcast, brought to you by CarolinaCatChronicles.com. The number is 252-228-5098. Please smash the thumbs up button. Share the show with a friend. That's the best thing you can do to help us grow, is to let another Panthers fan know about this podcast, which is the longest running podcast amongst Panthers podcasts. We're in our 9th or 10th season now. Every Tuesday, I think it's our 9th season. For the last 9 years, every Tuesday at 9 p.m., we get together and chop up the latest Panthers news and opinions. And tonight's show is powered by Volta, where you can own your own energy at a fixed rate for life, no money down. You can contact Kevin Brown Energy, solar consultant, and you can achieve energy independence. The number is 704-215-3373. That's 704-215-3373. If you're a homeowner in North or South Carolina, give Kevin Brown a call and say you heard about Volta on the C3 Panthers podcast. He'll take care of you because he's a Panthers fan, just like we are. And now we're going to jump into these cat calls to see what you guys got to say. Here we go. Actually, where do we go?
Where do we go now?
I can't hear it. Why is it not playing? Oh, I'm muted.
I don't hear anything.
Me either.
Oi.
Me either.
It feels good.
There we go.
Do you hear that?
Yeah.
Can we play it again? Damn.
Catch a tune.
I'm trying. God damn it.
Yo, guys, it's Nick from up here in Mass. Hey, so earlier this week, I was watching a Dante Jackson interview, and he had a very high comments on defense, saying that it's looking like everything's going to fit together nicely, that we're going to be really playing some good defense, you know, that sort of deal. But typically, whenever I listen to these interviews from players, I listen to the whole thing and I take everything that they say with a grain of salt. You know, when we looked at Dante last year, we thought that he didn't necessarily have a great year. He was struggling with turf toe, and I think that might have. No, that was the only injury that he was dealing with. But he said that he had played relatively well last year, which, I mean, we didn't really have many good things to say about him last year, just because he wasn't necessarily available, which makes it very difficult to give him an accurate judgment, other than, you know, he didn't really play as well as he should have. So I would love to hear your guys' thoughts on that. And Tony, what I'll do is I'll send you the clip of the interview, so that way you guys can kind of watch it beforehand, that sort of deal. But I'm kind of taking what he's saying with a grain of salt. It just doesn't seem like he criticizes his own actions enough. He's not accountable enough on his end. So it makes it hard for me to trust what he has to say. The other thing that I was thinking about too, the defense last year, especially in the second half of the season, they really stepped up. There was definitely some mistakes that were made, but given the fact the team was very young, especially on defense last year, we had about half, if not a majority of the rookies playing in the starting roles. You're asking a lot. Now, I'm assuming in practice what they do is they line the defense up against the offense. They see how everything goes. If your defense is weak, then shouldn't your offense be balling out during practice and vice versa? So I'm wondering how the addition of J.C. Horn and Hassan Reddick and all those guys, how that's going to affect how the team evaluates players on the offense.
This is the kitchen.
Sam Darnold. So would love to hear your guys' thoughts on it. Love the show, guys. Keep coming.
I'm trying to pull it up, but here it is. That's why you heard the ad there. Right away, because the Panthers put ads on everything. All right, here's a clip. StreamYard on this. Trying to share it. Where are we? What window am I in? All right. So let's see if I can do this. Yeah. Tell me if you guys can hear this when man, I can't even get the cat calls playing. So how am I gonna do this?
Dante, I think we got you on mute, so let's get you off of that real quick.
Can you hear
I
that?
can hear it. Yeah. Is that the whole interview, or did you timestamp the part where he talks about what he wants?
No, sounds like the whole interview real quick.
Yeah, we can't listen to the whole interview. I'll say this.
It's 12 minutes. Holy cow.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Normally, you got a timestamp.
We got your audio. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
Okay, good. We can.
That standpoint, we've been definitely trending in the right direction, man.
Now, look, instead of just finding it, let's just speak about it. Dante, there's a commonality with Dante and the coaches kind of saying that there's like a maturity about Dante, that he's taking the next step. We've talked about it before when they were on All or Nothing, and I'm so bad with names. What was the guy that came back to us from the Vikings? The guy that was not talking down to Dante, Captain Munderland. He was talking to Dante and trying to tell him to be more disciplined and mind your P's and Q's and all these different things on the football field. And, we've all kind of questioned the maturity of Dante. And I think this is a huge year for him. And I think our coaching staff knows that. I think our fans know that. And I think Dante knows that. So I think that's why.
I haven't questioned his maturity, though. I haven't. And I don't think we should. We really have just made a bunch of decisions about his personality and about his commitment to football based on kind of his swagger on the field to a certain degree.
I mean, I think we made I think a lot of us have made decisions on him based on the fact that he's not on the field.
Well, last year was difficult because he played, like maybe 8 games or something to that effect. He was in Ron Rivera's doghouse. We saw that All or Nothing clip, and we just continue to believe that he's like he's not coachable, not coachable, but poorly. Look, this staff has been very interested in him, right? And maybe that's the death dagger for anybody when Matt Rule talks. Well, there's somebody 10 tizzies about to come up in here and be like, Matt Rule said good thing about you're getting cut. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, we're in his 5th year option, I think, right now. This staff actually, and yes, they drafted J.C. Horn, but they've said nothing but good things about him. And I don't know if it's immaturity or like I'm not ready to say those things about it. I'm almost ready to, I have questions about Ron Rivera's staff and their ability to coach young players. That's actually my question here, is because if he comes out and balls out this year, he is a ball hawk. He's got great athleticism. Has he been really bad at anything? The last year he got better, but his problem was availability.
He's had problems with that toe. We've all kind of made fun a little bit about that.
Right. Well, I mean, that was the reason he wasn't. That's the reason he was unavailable.
Joey the Blind Panther said they changed the field to artificial turf. I think the writing's on the wall for Dante Jackson.
I'm, you know what? I'm becoming, and when everybody roots against something, I'm on that train.
But no one's rooting against Dante Jackson.
No one's believing in him either.
There's also reasonable criticisms too. Just like everybody wants to have revisionist history on James Bradbury, right? James Bradbury goes to the Giants, and everyone's like, "Oh, man, we shouldn't have let him go." And I agree, we probably shouldn't have let him go. But, there was so many people. I mean, we all remember Brother Herbert going crazy about James Bradbury.
But he
wasn't the
Where's
only
he been
one.
at? He ain't called in forever.
No, my point being is there were legitimate criticisms of James Bradbury, specifically in some big moments. Likewise, Dante Jackson has had some big moments where he has very clearly faltered for everyone to see. We haven't seen him be able to match up with the bigger receivers in our division and truly be able to hold our own, or to be able to hold his own.
Let's talk about the football play on the field. I like that. All right. Right away, he's 5'10".
Yeah. So people are like, is he a true outside corner? And like he is claiming to be, as he was drafted to be, mind you. So if we're having any criticisms about where he belongs, then like it's make or break it for him to figure it out. Someone in our chat room, JDO54, says Dante should be a free safety. A lot of people
there. Imagine being 4'3" like that.
Right.
He'd be sick there. That's his position. I like him.
And Dante needs to there's a bunch of legitimate criticisms of Dante Jackson, but let's
not only use the all or nothing and that's my point, is that's fine. Let's talk about his height. Let's talk about that. Let's not talk about like, oh, he can't be, like we saw he's immature because we saw him on all or nothing. That's my point.
Sure. I mean, I don't think everybody's saying it's just because of that. It's more
but that's what everybody comes back to, though. They always come back to like this, like complete. And I think we should start with he's 5'9".
But again, is
that's
that not
what I would start with? I want to find the 6'2" guy that can do what Dante can athletically, and they're out there now.
True, but you have to back it up with your play, though. No one cares if you're short.
You
have
think
to be
he's
able to
gonna
back it up.
he can't cover a DK. He can't, man. Like he just can't.
No.
Like Dante would not be a top 10 corner.
No, I mean not a top 10 corner.
Was he a second round pick? What round?
Second round pick. He was second round pick after Christian McCaffrey, I think.
That was Curtis
He
Samuel.
should play outside.
Oh yeah, so that was after DJ Moore. Yeah, after DJ Moore. What'd you ask me?
No. Let's just keep going. 252-228-1598.
Panther Nation, how y'all doing, man? It's G Cavassier.
What up, G?
Hey, couple more weeks, man, and it'll be preseason. Yay! But man, there's a lot I want to talk about.
Really, only a couple weeks
in here, man.
Yeah,
is it me, or am I the only one, or not the only one, that's thinking that our left tackle is going to be kind of suspect this year? I don't know,
man.
You know, I mean,
you're definitely not the
only
only one.
Have good left tackle, the dude that we so-called got or whatever. I don't know, but we'll see. We will see. And another thing, I know that, last week I was talking about that one player, Clinton Dix, tried out for the Panthers. A name that never gets connected to the Panthers, but I keep hearing that he might sign with the Steelers. What about Malik Hooker, man? Malik Hooker is a damn good safety, man. Pretty decent safety who can tackle, by the way. I mean,
Is that a job requirement of a safety?
In the backfield, I really, really do, man. So, give me your thoughts on Malik Hooker, and are you guys kind of iffy on this left tackle? And always remember, y'all
keep pounding. Great call, man. This is the type of call that touches on.
Call. How about this? If you're a Panthers fan and you're not concerned about left tackle, then I don't trust you.
Yeah, we still have no idea.
I actually feel very comfortable at left tackle this year because I am right in my home, right in our wheelhouse, which is we got a buster.
We've never known a stable left tackle position outside of
not since Jordan Groves.
Yeah,
not since Jordan Groves. And I'm telling, who is it going to be this year? I promise it's Cam Irvin. That's who it's going to be. And that might be good. It might be okay, but it could likely be terrible.
I tell you what, man, a lot of people have a lot of different opinions on, Brady Christensen, Cam Irving, all these different guys. I'll be disappointed. And I know Matt Rule has recently come out and said he expects Christensen to be a guard or a right tackle.
Yeah, listen,
and I put on Twitter.
To hear that,
well, I put on Twitter kind of halfway joking, something like the face you make when you realize we drafted Brady Christensen to be a replacement for Taylor Moton when we don't sign him again after the franchise tag. So it's like that might be true, but I hope no matter what that we at least give Christensen a chance to try for the left tackle position. Yeah. At least put him there.
As a rookie? Like, what does that mean?
What? Rookies are
truly,
expected to
what
play.
Does that mean to try? Like, do you let him just have a couple of reps and can't? Like, how do you do that?
I want our coaches to see him struggle and be able to pick up playing effectively the left tackle position before we say, okay, he can't play left tackle for us. That's what I want him to be given the opportunity to try and win the job. How do you know that? How do you know that? What Taylor Moton was a third-round pick, and he became a starter for us.
Type of grace. If you think he needs that type of grace, he can't do it from day one, man. Even the best of the best struggle early. You can't give that to him. So I think Trent Scott, like these people are saying this. Look, I am used to this. I feel right at home. This is what Ron Rivera would do. This is exactly what I mean. Until I see this team make a strong commitment, and I guess the one time we did see a close to that commitment was a little too late, where Dave Gettleman paid
Josh Khalil.
Yeah,
I don't know why I was thinking Josh Norman for a second.
On his reeling at, but Matt Khalil was the worst of all those bitches, man. He was worse. He was worse than I would rather have. Who was that cat? Bell. What we have?
Let's not even say that anymore.
I'd rather have Byron Bell than Matt Khalil any day.
Need I remind you of a day and age where Amini Silatolu was supposed to be the starting guard over Andrew Norwell. But this is my point. I don't want us to do, Cam Irving, we paid him a bunch of money, so therefore he has to be the left tackle.
We paid him like $2 million. I promise you, bro.
No, we didn't. We paid him like we paid him more than that. He's
going to start. How about this? Do you think who's going to be the starting left tackle, Trent Scott or Cam Irvin? I put my money on Cam Irvin right away. That's what I'm putting my money on.
How can I put money on anyone? How could you put money on anyone?
Trent Scott or Cam Irvin? No money then. Trent Scott or Cam Irvin?
My saying is this. None of us know that Brady Christensen can't play left tackle?
Not the question. Not the
It
question
doesn't
at
matter.
all.
That's all. I don't know who's going to play left tackle.
All right, then you're
What
gonna
I'm
say
saying is,
Brady Christensen.
I'm
then?
saying Brady
That
Christensen
transfer?
should at least be in the running. So Lynn and Shad Bob mentioned, let's see him in some preseason games at left tackle. Let's see him. I want to see Christensen in the
I'd love to see
rotation.
anybody in preseason. I'd love to see we'll put PJ Walker in preseason and see how he does.
So how much better?
He will
Tony,
not be starting in week 1.
How much better do you feel about our left tackle position week 1 against the Jets if it's Cam Irving opposed to Brady Christensen?
I'm indifferent.
Yeah, I'm with Cody.
That's my
CK.
point.
I'm with CK. I'm indifferent. I don't care. But I had a Cowboys friend. I said, "What do you think about this Cam Irving cat?" Right, because everybody hates him.
Oh, you mean the comedian?
What's that?
You mean the comedian?
No,
I'm just messing with you. Our guest on the show.
He said this. He said,
I remember that dude now. The dude that was telling jokes.
Oh,
remember?
now.
Yeah.
Oh, you brought. All right. Okay.
And the chat room.
None of you guys hated him. I never met anybody where in the aftermath.
The chat hated that person so much.
The chat room turned on him fast.
You guys did not like it. All right. So I asked my buddy Vic, not that dude. I said, what do we know like as Cam Irving? What do we get? He said he's not really bad, but he looks bad doing everything. No, it's like he actually makes the block, but he looks bad doing. Like he looks like he's all over.
Then doesn't that mean he's just straight up bad?
No, he actually does things. It just doesn't look good. He's not graceful. Like he made the block. He just turned out. You're like, oh God, that was ugly. But it worked. He was just trying to say he is not terrible, but he's not graceful. Is what
I've seen enough evidence to think that left tackle might just always be the bane of
who do you think is going to start? All right,
Carolina Panthers.
Who's starting?
Never. I mean, that's the thing. No one knows. Satchel Bob says we have a 5-man race at left tackle. All right, you make a bet on Irving. I don't even know. I don't know who to bet on. There's no.
What do you mean you don't know who to bet on? Well, it's not. All right, so it's him versus the field.
Who's a good bet, Tony? Who on our team is like, it has to be this person.
Him or someone else. How about you can take someone else? Him or someone else? Do you think it's me, him or someone else? I don't know who that person is. Is Cam Irving the starting left tackle in week 1?
No.
Yes,
I'll say no. I'll say no. I'll say he's not.
All right. I like that.
Yeah, I'm like Kevin. I bet on the field. I'm going to bet the field.
252-228-5098. We're going to bed any minute, so it don't matter if you call in. Like, you better call in right now. Everybody's going to bed. I'm struggling.
Hey, this is Kevin from Charleston. I want to talk about what our game plan as Panthers offense is going to be this year, because everyone's talking about the weapons and Sam Darnold, but I really feel that we're going to have a bigger running game than last year, and we're going to use the run so much more. Like, I think we're going to be predominantly running team. Like, I think Sam Darnold is going to average like maybe 20 passes per game. Like, it's not going to be that much, and I won't get your thoughts on that, but also, like, if he sucks or gets hurt or something like that, and we suck the whole year, where are the odds?
I can't even deal with the back end of that call. Can't, because where are we going to be at? If we suck, then we're going to be picking some great quarterback hopefully next year. When it comes to that running thing, did you hear that?
We might be picking 15th.
Oh, shut the fuck up.
Like, we are almost every year.
We had a sucky quarterback last year, and we were 8th. So look, if we pick later than 8th, then he won't that sucky. Next, did you hear that TJ Yeldon was trying out for the Carolina Panthers?
Yeah.
So let's get to this running back conversation. Right, the thinnest running back core in the history of the world actually is on the Atlanta Falcons right now, where Mike Davis is the only name that anyone knows. Free agent pickup, we lost him. Tell me if you think that the Atlanta Falcons have a running back behind Mike Davis, but we drafted Chuba Hubbard this year, right? And we're thinking of the question is, are we going to have a bigger, larger running attack? TJ Yeldon exercising, we're working out with the team. Veteran pass catcher, not the worst thing that could happen. What are your thoughts on TJ Yeldon?
So we didn't sign him, right? He's just tried out.
No, we have no. Like it's just out there. He's just.
So I mean, listen. I think Kevin is 100% correct that we are, without question, going to be a run-first football team. And really, like if you think about what the Panthers have traditionally always been in our better years, we've been an aggressive defense.
Why is it without?
And we can run the fucking football. And wait, what? Why is what?
Why do you think we're going to be a run-first team without question? Like how without question?
So
our
I'll tell you
offensive line is questionable. We have Christian McCaffrey, and that's it.
No, because this is
why is it
but you literally just said why. If your offensive line isn't going to be able to pass protect for more than a little bit, you're going to need players like Christian McCaffrey to, one, not only be able to pound it through the A and B gap, but to use all of the misdirection that he represents and using him in different formations to kind of get him out in space. Then when you add Chuba Hubbard to this equation, like he really is the kind of the yin to the yang of Christian McCaffrey. He's a punch you in the mouth type of running back. He wants to get downhill and hit you in the mouth and be able to run through you. Now, he isn't going to run away from you like Christian McCaffrey does, but it doesn't matter. We want to be physical up front. And one of the things that I heard Matt Rule saying that Panther Confidential thing before the draft, when he was talking about Sam Darnold, he's like, we just want Sam Darnold to take it one play at a time. You know, let the play come to you, but, you know, do what the play calls for and don't try and do too much. Live to see the next down. In my opinion, in order for the Panthers to do that, we have to establish a versatile offensive attack. And part of that is being able to dominate the line of scrimmage running the football. I think now that we have guys like Christian McCaffrey and Chuba Hubbard, but my dark horses
and Cam Irvin starting left tackle.
My dark,
Cam
I don't want to hear that.
Come on,
shit.
let's talk about it.
No. Hold on. Let me finish my point.
Let's talk about it.
No. Let me finish
Brady
my point.
Christensen.
No, there are two more points
being a goddamn
that I need to add to this.
bulldozer.
Deontay Brown is going to end up being a dark horse in this, and I have a strong suspicion that Deontay Brown is going to end up being a starter before preseason is over. And I think David
Can he start
Moore,
at left tackle? Can he?
It doesn't matter. You don't need a left tackle.
It does. We don't have. We never have a goddamn.
We're going to run
left
through the
tackle.
gaps, dude. The point of the matter is we are going to run the football. We have the pieces on the interior to be able to do it. And I think that's going to take pressure off of us and our left tackle when we do want to pass the football. We're going to be able to have a strong running game that makes it where we're not going to always have to depend on dropping back for 10, 15-yard plays.
So what you're saying is body blow, hit him with the haymaker over the top. Body blow, hit him with the haymaker. Could
make
Sam Darnold be the greatest play action passer in the history of the world? We might find out. But hey, you know what? Put him in a good space with some guys that can run in spades. That's kind of the recipe that you would hope would work, right? Look, who can run in space better than Robbie Anderson? Not in space, downfield, should I say? Who can run faster than DJ? I mean, like, these are guys that are downfield threats. So body blow over the top, body blow over the top. If that happens, we're all going to be cheering all next season, and we ain't going to be drafting that quarterback deep, like my man was talking about. The number's 252-228-5098. Smash the thumbs up button. Tell Cody Lashney that we need a left tackle better than Cam Irvin and Brady Christensen. Trent Scott, come on.
Hey, this is Kevin again from Charleston. I got another question. So me and my buddy, he's a Colts fan. Back, after the Super Bowl in 2015, we made a bet of who would have the better record, Carolina or the Colts. And whoever had the worst record had to buy the other guy a jersey. Fuck, I thought I made a great bet, but I lost. Had to buy him a Reggie Wayne fucking jersey. But this year coming, we both did the same bet again. We're doing it again. Who has a better record, Carolina or the Colts? And, depending on who has the better record, we'll get a free jersey.
Yuck.
So I want to know from y'all, did I make the right decision with this bet or not? That's my question. And I also like to say Cody can suck it.
My question about this bet is, does he get to pick who you get to buy the jersey of? So I kind of think that if I made a bet with someone and I said, I'll buy you a jersey if your team's better, blah, 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 I almost should get to pick the player who played with your team. Like, what if you bought, if we won and you bought me?
He says yes. He's in the chat room. They get to pick the player too. Or he said yes.
I would have picked him a Phillip Rivers jersey. Imagine this is that you got to be the asshole, the only cat that wore a Colts jersey, and it was.
No, buy him find a Devin Funchess Colts jersey.
Give
that to him.
Exactly. Done.
Yeah.
Done. Got it. All right. So I guess the
how
question
about,
is
do you think
this,
the Colts will have a better record?
Is Carson Wentz an upgrade from Phillip Rivers?
I think so.
I think so too. I've not been a Phillip Rivers fan. I've got a lot of reasons. Number one, he played for NC State, which is right up the road from ECU. But ultimately, they got a good defense. They got a lot of weapons. Is Carson Wentz a better reclamation project in a better spot than Sam Darnold? And for me, I'm leaning this, Cody, is that Sam Darnold has a lot of promise, has a lot of pedigree, but hasn't had a lot of success. Carson Wentz has had some success in the NFL.
Yeah, you have at least seen evidence of Carson Wentz being the quarterback that you hope he could be. So, he was damn near an MVP in his second or third year whenever the Eagles went to the Super Bowl. My thing is this. The Colts have a damn good offensive line. And I'm talking a damn good offense.
They got a really good defense, homie. They
added a bunch of players. And another thing is Frank Reich is the head coach of the Colts now. Yeah. And he was the offensive coordinator for the Eagles when Carson Wentz had that MVP style season. So, by the way, that's why I love that they're going to be the team that we're going to be scrimmaging against in practice, because I think that's a good team that's also trying to pick up the pieces of what could be. And, they're trying to get right, too. They also believe that they have the kind of squad in place. I think that's going to be a good test of our mettle, seeing what kind of team we are. My only worry, though, for Kevin is that we know Carson Wentz has a rocket arm. We know T.Y. Hilton's down there. Now, if that offensive line can make it where Carson Wentz doesn't have to always scramble and do some crazy shit to save the play, then, maybe you do see a return to form from Carson Wentz. But
They
I
made
don't know,
the
man.
playoffs last year with Phillip Rivers.
Can I just say one more thing? Carson Wentz has the offensive line that Sam Darnold doesn't, but I believe Sam Darnold has a better supporting cast around him as far as weapons.
Yeah.
Receivers and running backs. I think Sam has the better of the two. But I think Carson has the better protection.
CK, are you ready to give up on any of these guys?
Give up on any of the guys?
Yeah, Wentz or Darnold. Like, have you given up on any of them?
I would say I'd be more ready to give up on Wentz than I would Darnold.
Really?
I mean, you just got to look at the history, man. He's got such a history.
Yeah.
Well, no, it's not even just that. It's Carson Wentz has a bad history right now, right? I mean, and if we want to get real, he's been injured every year since he went to since the Eagles went to the Super Bowl. He lost an entire team. And I mean, listen, I'm not going to blame everything on Carson Wentz, but I mean, you don't lose an entire team being a good leader, right?
True. Hey, how about this? These are also two guys that come from the two worst NFL media markets that a quarterback can go to.
Right.
New York and Philadelphia. Like, just savage place to be a quarterback. I mean, you'll get booed out of the stadium by your own fans in Philly, and I know that they did that to Carson too. So I kind of feel the Indianapolis vibe is probably way more for Carson, and likewise, I think the Carolina vibe fits Sam Darnold way better too.
I agree with that.
How's this for another parallel? They both wore green. Now they both wear some form of blue. So, hey, man, whatever. I'm just picking up the pieces and showing them to you.
What do you think about this? Is that hold on. I don't know. Computer's freezing. It's my computer that's freezing now.
Yeah, your audio has been kind of like crackly a little bit. It's not on
the whole time, and now you're just saying something.
Is that everybody? I thought it was just me because I went to the YouTube broadcast and it wasn't doing it.
All right. Well, I would like my whole thing is frozen right now. I have this great image. You need to, if you guys are, just Google Toka and Razor from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2. That is what Carson Wentz looks like. He looks like Toka. I have it pulled up right now. I don't know why I cannot stop. I want to stop here. Maybe it'll do it. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
I might just talk. So, all right. Hit us up with the last segment. We only got one segment left since my whole computer is frozen. What's the last segment, Cody?
We're gonna ice some fools up.
And that's when we tell these mugs to ice up to get it together. It's our homage to Steve Smith. Everyone is fair game, from little 12-year-olds in Oklahoma to my wife downstairs to myself sitting in this chair. Does anybody got anything?
Yeah,
you got a little there, but
yeah, you were cutting out a little bit. CK, do you want to go first? If not, I can.
You go on, man.
Gee, what a shocker! I have a funny one though that I do think everybody's going to like. Lab analysis has determined that Subway tuna sandwiches, in fact, contain no DNA traces of tuna at all whatsoever.
They lost their suit.
The study commissioned by the New York Times failed to not only identify tuna DNA, but the lab couldn't even determine the origins of the fish provided in the sandwiches. No amplifiable tuna DNA was present in the sample, so we obtained no amplification products from the DNA. Therefore, we cannot identify the species. So if you have ever eaten a tuna sandwich from Subway,
you're legit eating alien.
no idea what the fuck you're eating, man. None at all. That is the craziest shit in the world to me, dude. That has to be a crazy lawsuit, right? To say that you're selling tuna and you're not at all. Like, dude, that's the dumbest shit in the world.
Dude, that is insane.
That is bananas, dude. So, look, apparently Subway, like, they have this guy as the CEO who like runs the company, like he's like the overlord or something. But yeah, this is the most ridiculous thing I've ever read in my life. I can't even believe that this is a real story. But to Subway, and by the way, just a little aside, when I was in college, the bottom floor had a Subway connected to it. So every floor, because it would go on the elevators, up the steps, every floor always smelled like Subway. So, dude, I got so tired of smelling Subway when I was in college. I literally almost vomited in the elevator one day. It was that bad. But yeah, it's a Subway and your fucking fake ass tuna sandwiches. Ice up, son.
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, what did you freeze or something? You look kind of like frozen.
All right, so this is what I think Carson Wentz looks like, the dude on the left. I'm telling you, that is him, bro. That is him. If we side by side him. All right, my ice up pick goes to this is because I was frozen. I was I already iced it up. I couldn't hear you guys. I was talking. No one can hear me. My ice up pick goes to this is that manual labor sucks, right, folks? And the people that are doing it, God bless them. And we all do it. I put up 23 fence posts today. Bam. Bam, bam, bam. 23 fence posts, set them. I've done 40 posts in 2 days. I got a lot of fence. I build shit. But God, it's exhausting. And after working 7 hours, I was like, man, I gotta get a little in me. And then it caught up with me in this podcast, obviously. So here's to ice up to not have enough money to pay somebody else to do it.
How's the pool going along, by the way?
The pool is full, Bama. Like, we've been swimming in it for the last 3 days. Now the question is learning how to use it. Like, and now I gotta learn all this. I'm like testing, like I gotta figure it all out. I fuck shit up. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean,
I went out. It was like yellow. I don't. Yeah, we're still trying to figure. it out.
I mean, you're like trying to figure out what you're doing, right? What you're doing. You get your basically. My dad said this. All right, so I had my father-in-law, my father, myself, my brother. We had a family gathering for Father's Day where we cooked ribs and we just had a good time. You know what I'm saying? Like, where all of us can celebrate at once instead of me having to go to my dad, then my wife having to go to her dad. It's just so much. And my dad said, he looked at this point, he said, you know how to get yourself in some shit, don't you? Yes. Like, it's like, we don't really know what we're doing. We just dive in head first. And that was a pun intended. You just figure it out as you go.
Right.
So that's been the stress. Like, so my kids have played in it, but now I'm like, God, I got to order all this shit off the internet. Are we going to get the fucking ringworm? Yeah, we're going to get the brain eating amoeba. Like, we better put some shot. You know what I mean? It's just, it's one more thing I got to learn. That's it.
Unbelievable. It's one more, and there's their headache.
It's cool. But, like, it's a good problem to have. But it's like this. It's like anybody says, like, I want to own a house. I want to do this. You know what? Like, you gotta pressure wash that shit. You gotta be out there. You gotta cut the grass, or you gotta pay someone else to do it. Like I said, Like you can either put your own fence up where you save a bunch of money, like I did. My wife and I, we're out there slaving, and it looks good, bro. Our lines are straight as fuck. Like, I mean, it's tried and true. I feel good about this, but man, these blisters, you know, like you can't even walk the next day, you know, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like you just like that's what it is. Everything you get in life, you get a beautiful car, you get a beautiful boat, you get whatever, you gotta take care of it. And that taking care of it is a ton of fucking work. And so it's a good blessing to have. It's like having kids, right? Aren't having kids, you gotta take care of them. It's a good blessing to have. All right, so ice somebody up. Tell somebody about a bad blessing they got, Sika.
I mean, honestly,
go to bed. Did you already do it and I missed it?
No. Like mine's, I don't know, man. Like it's my
streamer world. Give us some streamer insight. What you got?
Well, I've been away for like a week and a half, so I don't really have a lot of streamer insight, but right now at least. But I will say, like, for the vacation aspect of things, like, can you guys please stop putting like toys on the front shelves? Like, it irritates the shit out of me to have to tell my son no all the fucking time. Like, no, we can't get that, and then now I have to deal with this fucking like hysterical child that's just like, I want the dinosaur. I'm like, fuck, dude. We've literally spent so much money this past week that we didn't need to spend because of that bullshit. Oh man. Anyway, marketers who are doing a very good job at what they're trying to do, which is make me spend money that I don't want to fucking spend. Ice up.
Good one. Ice up.
My
it's very deliberate.
Dad, and my grandfather's been passed away for years, like a long time, like 15 years, 20 years. He used to say, for every dollar you make, there are 4 people trying to figure out how to take it from you.
Yeah. It's a very good saying.
And Cody, since my computer is like blasting out, can you just take us out of here?
Can do. Until next Tuesday night, Panther brethren. Keep pounding.
Keep pounding.
Well, that was simple and plain.
Looking for a fun way to win up to 25 times your money this basketball season? Test your skills on Prize Picks, the most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports. Just select 2 or more players, pick more or less on their projected stats, and place your entry. You could turn $10 into $250. Right now, Prize Picks will match your first deposit up to $100. Just visit prizepicks.com/fan and use code FAN. That's code FAN at prizepicks.com/fan.
Must be present in certain states. Visit prizepicks.com for restrictions and details.